Hey there, life groups. Welcome to Know Better, Grow Better. Over the next 4 weeks, our goal is to help you know better and grow better in 4 key areas of your life. Week 1, we're talking about how to make better decisions because the decisions we make today determine the stories we tell tomorrow. Week 2, we're going to focus on building better resistance because we all know our enemy is prowling around seeking ways to devour us. And when he attacks, we want to be ready to fight back. Week 3, we're going to talk about creating better habits. Something I know is true about the habits in your life is that your habits are either making you better or they're breaking you. If you have habits that are holding you back, we're going to discover how to replace those hurtful habits with helpful habits. Week 4, we're going to finish strong, learning how to develop better endurance. We all know anyone can start something, but only a few finish well, and we want that to be you. If one or all of these areas of your life are something that you are excited to grow in, then this life group is for you. See, Big Church is where we give you the information. Small groups is where we figure out the application. So, who's ready to make better decisions? Here we go. Let's do it. Something I know is true about you is your life is moving in the direction of your decisions. That means if you want your life to move in a different direction, it starts by changing your decision-making filter. Let me give you 5 super practical questions that you can use to filter any decision that you're about to make. Question 1, are these all the options? When the prophet Samuel was tasked with finding a new king for the nation of Israel, Jesse brought him 7 of his favorite sons, the 7 most obvious candidates. He didn't even bother with little old David, who was off watching sheep out in a field somewhere. He could never be king. Fortunately, Samuel was wise enough to know that the obvious choice is not always the right choice, and the first option is not always the best option. Great decision makers don't just choose between option A or option B. They think outside the box. They search for options C, D, E, F, and G. So if you feel stuck trying to make a decision, it could be a sign that you need to expand your options. Question 2, do I need to be the one who makes this decision? Let me tell you, decision fatigue is real. In a study, researchers reviewed the results of a parole board who considered 11,000 parole applications. And what they discovered was that of the 370 inmates who received parole, 70% were granted parole before lunch, while only 10% were granted parole after lunch. So what do we learn from that? It means that if you're ever up for parole, make sure you get an early appointment. Another takeaway could be that the more decisions we make, the harder it becomes to choose. That certainly was true for Moses. Moses was on the edge of a nervous breakdown, working sunrise to sunset, trying to make decisions for the entire nation of Israel. Then his father-in-law, Jethro, comes along. He's like, hey, Moses, I want to teach you a magic word. It's pronounced delegation. That one word changed Moses' life. He realized that he could empower other people to make decisions for him. So if you suffer from decision fatigue, do yourself a favor. Make a list of all the decisions that you can make, and then a list of decisions that other people can make for you. Then go crazy. Delegate as many decisions as possible. Question 3, what would a wise person do? When people get stuck making an important decision, often they will pay big money to a consultant to tell them what to do. Do you know the reason why that consultant can often see the answer that their client cannot? The consultant is not emotionally attached to the outcome. They can see clearly because they're not clouded by their emotions. So just work with me here. What if you saved your money and hired yourself as your own consultant? Whatever the problem is that you're wrestling with right now, take a step back and ask yourself, what would a wise person do? If it's a parenting problem, think of the best parent you know and imagine what they would do. If it's a business problem, think of the best business person you know and imagine what would they do. Chances are you will know what you need to do. Now, that doesn't mean it won't be hard, doesn't mean it won't be scary, but asking that question will bring clarity. Question 4, when do I need to decide? Do you want to know the secret to being 100% certain with every decision you make? Get ready to write this down. This is a game changer. There is no such thing as 100% certainty. If you wait till you are 100% certain to decide, you will never decide. And the chances are, while you're waiting to make the perfect decision, the decision is being made for you. So if you're putting off deciding, decide what it is that you need to help you decide. Do you need more information, more advice, more options, more specifics? Figure out what it is that you need and then set a date to decide and make a decision. Question number 5, what is God saying? Now, obviously we saved the best for last. Proverbs 16:9 says, "The heart of a man plans his way, but the Lord establishes his steps." So you can gather the best information. You can seek the best advice. You can develop the best plan of action. But if God is not with you, it can all still fall apart. The good news is, God is at work all around us, all the time. He's at work in my life and your life. The only question is whether we will work with him or whether we will work without him. Right now, you might be thinking, I just want to get on board with God's plan for my life, but I just have no idea what that is. That's okay. God says all you have to do is ask. James 1:5 promises, "If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you." If you don't remember anything else we talked about this week, I hope you remember that when you don't know what to do next, you can always ask God and he will help you make the wise decision. Now, having said all that, I've decided it's time to turn it back over to your life group leaders so you can discuss what you need to do in order to make the best decisions this week.